Welcome back to Core Motivations Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Connolly. I'm a certified Enneagram coach and a Symbis marriage coach. And if this is your first time here, I want to give you a special welcome. You have stumbled upon an incredible community. And for those returning, thanks again for not only committing to yourself, but committing to growth through this podcast and the information shared. So, how has your week been? Anything interesting? Perhaps you are finding ways to use in real time the self care and self love routines and rhythms. Using the things you're putting in your toolbox helps establish healthy habits and leave the ones that drag you down and perhaps cast a shadow at the door. But inviting the good or healthy, recognizing the unhealthy, and moving forward. So last week, we talked about that internal dialogue. You know, the inner voice. I gave language to the types of conversations we could have, from the positive motivational, the critical negative, the neutral and informative, and of course the final, the conversational and imagined. So, did you practice shifting your negative self talk to positive and loving self talk? Did you change from the instead of try this instead? Remember, I gave you some examples. This is one I shared. So instead of what's wrong with me, try this instead. I am perfectly imperfect. I'm human and I made a mistake. I find I need to remind myself that I'm under construction. So, that being said, for me, this is going to take purposeful practice. But I know it will come. I know I can change this, and you can too. Even if it's just small baby steps. Movement is movement, regardless of the measurement. I saw this video recently about how what we model to others, especially our kids, the kids that are in our care, whether they're students, nieces, nephews, grandkids, neighborhood kids, we can shape how they see the world. Now, don't forget, we can shape how adults see the world too, because we are teaching them how to treat us and how to move around us. So I saw this video recently. This mom was having a hard day, and she started this practice with her young baby. I believe she called it the shimmy. So every day they start out playing fun music and shimmying and dancing. What a great way to start the day! I'm pretty sure it doesn't just have to be the start of the day. A shimmy can fit anywhere throughout the day. It can reset your brain. It can help your body relax so you can conquer whatever is ahead. What was so great about seeing this mom do this is the crying stopped. The anger and the frustration, it stopped. Everything just stopped. Kind of like that moment in The Matrix where Neo puts his hand up. The bullets slow down and stop in front of them and they fall to the ground. Okay, well, if you know, you know. Anyway, the shimmy. Wouldn't you know it, after this moment that the mom shared with her daughter, what was left was happiness, joy, and peace and gratitude. A daily shimmy. It's just a little something I wanted to share. So, speaking of gratitude, I love my little setup here, my humble little studio, my office that has a comfy chair, a fan, of course, my nice desk, and a burning candle. You know what the name is? It's called Balance. What a great name. And I have to say that the fragrance is just so yummy. I truly am grateful for this time that I get to spend with all of you and share these things that will hopefully get you to pause. Maybe play a little music and shimmy and press into what brings you joy to take on the day or whatever lies ahead. Today, we're going to talk about our fourth core motivations. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited to get to this one. Why, you ask? Well, for starters, I can say I experienced something helpful and gratifying. Secondly, I can add something else to my bag of knowledge. And third, I made it to the finish line. Okay, maybe that one, as we purpose to understand the Enneagram. The truth is, Enneagram is a tool to help us level up. That being said, there really is never an ending to the Enneagram because we're always learning and growing. And we are finding new ways to shape our person, our surroundings, and the community which we operate. And community can be at home, work, family, and even our friend group, to name a few. Friend group. It sounds like school. Anywho, are you ready to get to the last but never least core motivation, known as core longing? First, a couple of quick reminders. We're here to learn and grow. This space is free from judgment. Yes, that includes judging ourselves. I see you over there. And of course, a new, fresh perspective on ways to speak to ourselves the way you speak to yourself as we teach others what we need. So, without further ado, let me remind you of our previous motivations, our core motivations, starting with core fear, which is what a person is always running away from, avoiding, and trying to prevent from happening. That deep inside we can believe that is vital to our well being to avoid the thing we fear. Core desire, what a person is always striving for and believing will bring them complete fulfillment. And core weakness, the core issue people are always wrestling with. And our fourth, core longing, the one we're going to work on today, which is the central message that a person's heart is always longing and thirsting to hear. Do you ever hear or read something that you have done and find out that you admire what you've done? That you're feeling amazed and even confident? You see, recently I was listening back and reviewing my podcast. And as I sat there listening, well, after I got past the thing I struggle with, we talked about it last time we were together, that crazy self talk thing. I realized that I need and get to be proud of myself. I realized by listening to it, it brought me encouragement. If it could do that for me, I can only hope that it does the same for you. So, as I listened to my own words, I was reminded that I'm not only doing a good job and being professional and seemingly polished, I realized that I'm strong and powerful and I'm bringing good things to light and I have something to say, which, of course, I'm reminding myself I have a seat at this table. Sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to praise ourselves for our accomplishments. And that's what I did. Of course, I sat and cried a little too because I really couldn't believe that I'm fulfilling something that I've dreamt of for oh so long. And here I am. I'm doing it. Can I encourage you too to do that thing that is on your heart or that thing you've been wanting to do? Whether it's been stirring for a day or a year or even a decade, that you take that leap, just a step forward and try it. What's the worst that can happen? Or better still, as a friend said to me, what's the best thing that could happen? It truly is all about perspective. Now, when I say what is the worst thing, what I mean is you can't lose. You can only gain. Because remember, mistakes are merely opportunities. Okay, that's my special sauce for today. Transform that self talk into positivity and find gratitude for yourself about yourself. And try something new or try it again with new lenses on. You got this. You're not alone. I'm right here with you. And if you need real time encouragement, I invite you to reach out in email or Instagram. I'm available for you. Test me on that, please. Okay, ready for the next part? Oh, good. You came to the right place. Let's dive in. Now, core longing. It is the central message that a person's heart is always longing and thirsting to hear. Longing, also described as strong desire, yearning, or persistent or craving, especially for something unattainable or distant, characterized as earnest desire, or perhaps a prolonged, unfulfilled need. So, why longing? You see, humans are wired to seek meaning. Our brains naturally try to find patterns and make sense of the world around us. And central messages, whether in a story, speech, or conversation, provide a framework for understanding and ordering information, helping us interpret events and connect with broader concepts. So, as in a need for connection and belonging, it's shared values and beliefs, which are often conveyed through central messages and are critical for forming communities and fostering a sense of belonging. Or, for example, emotional and cognitive processing, which are stories built around this central message or theme, and it engages our emotions, helping us to process complex information. in a memorable and impactful way. They allow us to internalize lessons and adopt new perspectives. Also, guidance and clarity, which create or bring a central message like explicitity, something that is stated or implied, which provides direction and focus, helping us to navigate information and understand the core point. So, why is it important? Well, longing can help us understand and retain a central message. It can help us remember information by organizing it into coherent narratives and even create a framework. Longing can create a sense of purpose, which is often aligned with the central message, creating motivation, prioritization, and focus on meaningful goals. And longing can help our mental and physical well being, a sense of purpose. Longing can help shape attitudes and beliefs, such as stories and narratives that are centered around a message, and in turn, challenge perspectives, promote empathy, and influence how we view relationships and our environment. In some ways, longing can help overcome adversity, finding meaning in different experiences, often through narrative or central messages, what helps us to cope with stress and trauma and build resilience and move forward. Longing can drive societal flourishing, shared values and beliefs, conveyed through central messages which are critical and crucial for building strong communities, fostering cooperation, and of course, addressing challenges. So now that we understand longing and how it can be important, let's look at it from the lens of each Enneagram type. Now, again, remember, core longing is that central message that a person's heart is always longing and thirsting to hear. And this is core longing as it applies to each Enneagram type. Starting with, as always, from the top. Type 1, the moral perfectionist. So their central message is, you are good. They have this strong sense of right and wrong, where they strive to embody these principles in their actions and character. Their central message gives them the need to improve and perfect, not just for themselves, but the world around them, as they seek positive change to make things better. Their central message also contributes to being seen as competent and capable and work hard to avoid mistakes, to be seen as good and avoid criticism or negative judgment from anyone, including themselves. So, type 2, the helper, their central message is, you are wanted and loved. They prioritize relationship to ensure that people around them feel cared for and loved. They are skilled, well, I like to call it a superpower, at intuitively sensing the needs of others and offer support. They desire to provide acts of service which causes them to go out of their way to help others in hopes that it will earn them the love and acceptance they crave. Okay, type three, the successful achiever. Their central message is you are loved and valued for simply being you. And their message is represented by this feeling they missed or needed when growing up, and emphasizes that their world is inherent, not earned through their accomplishments, and further, their desire for acceptance and belonging, which is experienced without needing to perform or strive, admiration and validation, that they are seen as capable and successful, that this will make them worthy of love. Okay, type four, the romantic individualist. Their central message is you are seen and loved for exactly who you are, special and unique. Theirs is often a struggle from a sense of deficiency or lack, believing they're fundamentally flawed and incomplete, which is fueled by a tinge of envy, for they often find themselves comparing themselves to others, believing others possess the qualities they lack. Okay, you still with me? Okay, let's move forward. Type 5, the investigative thinker. Their central message is your needs are not a problem. This longing and their fear walk side by side, in that they're fearful of being annihilated, invaded, or thought to be incapable and even ignorant. This longing causes them to be focused on keeping their energy from being depleted and not having outside obligations put on them. Ultimately, the longing comes from the desire to feel secure and capable in their own ability, while overcoming the fear of being overwhelmed, as well as the knowing that their needs are valid and won't be seen as a burden. Okay, let's just pause here for a moment, just a moment. As we move into the next four core motivations, the longing and the central message. And of course, this includes the first six that we just went through. This applies to all aspects as we learn more about the Enneagram. I just want to again remind you that these are not set in stone, that everything that I'm sharing is what, on average, someone might experience. It's not an absolute for each person. There are most likely parts of these descriptions that any person can relate to. So, as you listen to these descriptors, keep in mind not all things fit all people. Okay, let's move forward. And let me just correct. We've gone through five. We're getting ready to go to the sixth. Okay, so here we are, type six, the loyal guardian. Their central message is you are safe and secure. So, with that, they seek reassurance and validation to create ease from anxieties and doubts. They strive to build strong relationships, as it creates this loyalty and commitment as being valued, strong, and stable with those they consider to be trustworthy. They also strive to be prepared and have a deep understanding for planning with what they see as skills which can manifest with excellent planning and troubleshooting to anticipate potential problems and even be prepared for worst case scenarios. They can also be challenged and question because of this for the system that is in authority, because they question whether authority can be trusted. Following me with that? Okay, let's move on. Type 7, the entertaining optimist. Their central message is you will be taken care of. So, since sevens are genuinely driven by a strong desire to experience joy and happiness and satisfaction, they can be in constant pursuit of new experiences and opportunities so as to not experience discomfort or pain. And this can manifest in that they struggle with fear of being deprived, trapped in the strong emotional pain. So, to cope with that, they will plan more fun activities and keep options open, allowing them to reframe challenges as opportunities and maintain optimism. This helps them avoid FOMO, which is fear of missing out. And lastly, since they fear being trapped, the struggle with commitment to long term plans, projects, or relationships allows for them to keep their options open. Their deep desire for life, their longing is to be filled with joy, freedom, and security. Okay, last two. Type 8, protective challenger. Their central message is you will not be betrayed. So deep inside, eights have a deep longing for trust and vulnerability. They long to trust others to hold their hearts. They long to have someone stronger to protect them despite their outward strength, longing to have someone capable of protecting and leading them. For they often feel the weight of having to constantly be the strong one. And finally, that their relationships are dependable and won't harm them. I sort of feel like I'm telling someone's secret. I'm sorry, eights, as I know I unveiled some things about you that perhaps you were not ready to share. But please know, I see you. Okay, and finally, type 9, the peaceful mediator. Their central message is your presence matters. So while their inner stability and peace of mind to maintain harmony, nines can find themselves in a bit of a discord, for they are striving to avoid conflict and create a sense of unity. With this comes this almost smallness, that they make themselves small, where their own needs and desires are expensed. This can be confusing in that they deeply want to be seen, hence, their longing that their presence matters. They can, because of their efforts, keep the peace, which causes them to be overlooked, excluded, and lose connection with others, and miss the opportunity and desire to prioritize their own needs and desires. Well, we did it. Great job. Ready for one-to-one coaching? Maybe you know a group that is interested. Your work team, church team, leaders of all kinds. Reach out and let's chat. Okay, so core motivations in a nutshell. You now know a few things of each core motivation of each Enneagram type. So, a quick reminder, core motivations are a specific pattern of thinking and a way of being. It's the why you think, feel, and behave from the inside, as applies to each type, your specific Enneagram type. Enneagram can reveal what a person does, but the main focus is why you do it. This is about your why. And as we learned, each type has core fear, which is what a person is always running away from, core desire, what a person is always striving for, core weakness, the core issue people are always wrestling with, and the one we just learned, core longing, which is that central message a person's heart is always longing and thirsting to hear. So, as you take some time to reflect on these core motivations, as I know that you are and will, may it serve as a guide. May it help you as you uncover your Enneagram type and a clear understanding of why you do what you do, not as a means and never as a way to spread or pour judgment on yourself or others. Rather, it is awareness and an offering to yourself and others as a way of grace. And a reminder that each of us have a history and a story. Knowing your why through the Enneagram, it brings clarity and it sheds a new light on you and others. So be kind to yourself. Love on yourself a little bit more than you would have before you started this journey of understanding the Enneagram. And stay tuned for what's next. We have a lot to discover. And before we dive into our next self love practice, hop on over to my Instagram page. You can find a link on core motivations underscore coach to take your free Enneagram assessment. And the cool part is the results will come right to your email. Now, of course, you're going to want to know more about your results. So, how about scheduling your free 30-minute consult right after you receive your results? We'll get you going with the next steps. So, reach out via email. I'm looking forward to hearing what you've learned from your personal assessment results. Okay, what's next? I know what you're thinking. Man, our toolbox is getting filled up. Do you love it as much as I do? Is it getting a little heavy? Pshaw. Don't worry, we can put wheels on it. So you can move it around with you or just take out what you need when you need it. I got you. Okay, try this on for size. Our next self love practice is, are you ready for it? Music. Our next practice has to do with music. I am so big on the benefits of music. So much so, I read an article about how our brains respond to music, or as was stated in this article, and I quote, how our brains' emotions respond to music. Music has a profound impact on the brain. The parts that involve emotion, influencing mood and memory and even physical coordination, activating numerous brain regions. Don't you just love these great descriptors? I do. These activators can trigger the release of dopamine. It's what's known as neurotransmitters, which is associated with pleasure. I found out that music can also improve cognitive functions like attention. And it's been used in therapeutic settings to address conditions like depression and Parkinson's disease. I don't know about you, but this brings so much hope. I love it. So, music. Why do I bring this up? I believe that given our personal experience with music, we can see how it can drive us towards feelings, all kinds of them, good, strong, or even the opposite, as it can bring up strong, sad emotions. Think about the kind of music you listen to when you're working out. If the music is slow, you're not necessarily jazzed or pumped to get moving, but change the tempo of music and you're driving and digging in deep. So let's pause for a moment and listen to this song. How does it make you feel? Well, what do you think? So, keeping this in mind, I'm wondering if when you're feeling blue or sad, instead of putting on music that makes you more sad, how about put on music that is uplifting and encourages and sparking dopamine? I totally believe it's healthy to acknowledge your emotions and even sit with them for a bit. But I think you might agree that we don't always have the time or space to do that. And even if you do, at some point, you'll need to stop yourself from slipping into a downward spiral. I don't know about you, but I think having a curated playlist of motivational, calming, and feel good music at the ready can be a perfect way to lean into self love, especially during those times when you're feeling blah, bummed, or triggered. So, for example, I use Spotify, and maybe you use some other music streaming service. Either way, the perfect mix. Create that perfect mix that gets you up and moving. This can help navigate tough feelings, especially when you're not ready to deal with them. You might be able to change the script. Hey, I see that you're feeling this way and that you don't want to right now. So, no, I'm here for you. I think we should play some Imagine Dragons, the song Zero, or maybe In This Place. Come on, you know the song from Wreck It Ralph? If not, you should check it out. Now, I know some of these songs are weird and certainly don't mean what I might think they do, but I don't really care so much because it creates good feelings. And I like that it reminds me of something that brings good memories. You see, my friend's son, when he was really young, and I came to hang out, well, babysit, but don't tell him that's why I was there. We watched Wreck It Ralph, and it was so important to him, and it impacted me in a special way. So when I listen to it now, I'm reminded of this shared time with him. You could try making these playlists that have something to do with self love anthems or music that contains affirmations. Also, I was searching a little more and came upon this podcast called What's in a Song with Scarlett Keys. And she interviews Daniel Levitin. He's a PhD, where he brings a unique understanding of music and your brain. I found it quite interesting. I've learned that music can lower your cortisol. I really need this. And music provides a holistic workout for your brain. What's the main point? Well, the main point is the main point. Music helps change the mood. Our mood settles us and even creates an opportunity to reset, shift our thinking, even if only for a little bit. It offers an opportunity to reshape how you are being present for yourself, causing a pause and bringing into focus to ask the questions: how am I showing up for me? Allowing for a moment from the thing that is causing certain feelings, whether hard, bad, confusing, or whatever it may be. Allowing space to get grounded. Remembering or reminding yourself you are okay. And this feeling too shall pass. It's okay to put it down for a minute or 5. To take a break from that thing. And that's not to say it's not important, but rather remember that it will keep. And it's time to take a step back or forward. Either way, that we get to, in that moment, stop, pause, and remember the following. Say to yourself, self, reshape, regroup, reset, reboot, reposition, and renew. One more time. Reshape, regroup, reset, reboot, reposition, and renew. I am totally jazzed and I'm ready to move. Are you? Okay, then get creating. Create your mood boosting playlist today. And even share it with somebody that might need a mood boost too. Let's encourage each other to change positions so we can see a different perspective. Because sometimes that's all it takes. Now let's go listen to some music. Now, some legal stuff. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. This podcast is not a substitute for medical care. The materials, videos, or books referred to in this podcast are recommendations only. The views expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast host. That's me, or sponsors. I also want to say a special thanks to Pixabay for their content use, the music that we played earlier. So join me each week as we dive into all things Enneagram, self-care ideas, self-love patterns, and share ideas from other reputable authors, doctors, and my favorite podcasters. Thank you for being with me today on Core Motivations Podcast. You can find me, Michelle, on Instagram at Core Motivations _coach or through email, Michelle at coremotivationscoach.com. Love to hear from you and for you to give us a follow and share this episode and even scroll down to the end of the podcast and leave a review so others can find us. You can find us on some of the following platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and now on YouTube. So I want to leave you with this. Until next time, and as always, I'm rooting for you.